4,
2,
1.
You are live.
9, 3, 6.
Man, I should have been on a minute.
There's this thing.
It'll be like 40 seconds into the show.
What? I know the guy. All the way down. I love it. What are we gonna do with all of these?
I have an idea.
Is it me or does anybody else want to oil Andy up?
I do.
Let's see what we can do with this.
That smile, those dimples.
Yeah,
He's so handsome.
you know, life must be easy when you're that good looking. Nothing is wrong. Like, I mean, Andy wasn't on time today, but was I upset?
No.
No, he's that damn handsome. Welcome back. As the rotor turns.
Hello.
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 So you know, is we're a little tired. We've been
What?
been going at this for a while. We're gonna get some stories in from the day, and then this is like always. We'll start with the disclaimer. This is definitely not the opinion of the rescue company one or the most extremely handsome and greatest doctor in the whole entire world.
Hey.
Yes.
Me?
That
Yeah.
guy.
Dr. Ben Abel. If you do want to sue somebody, this is the opinion of Rob and Dakota. You know. However, every time we got the doctor on live, which is, this would be the first time we've ever had to really use this, is like, hey, you need to follow your own local protocols and don't do anything stupid and try to blame it on the doc.
That's right.
Don't be an idiot.
Otis is even here.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, my assistant medical director is here.
Hey.
MD 1.5. Say hi,
How are
bud.
you doing it?
Hi, Otis.
And then, here is a couple other people. Hey, birthday buddy.
Hi.
Birthday buddy. And then the hippo.
Yes, sir. I'm
Dude.
here.
I don't know if we can get that picture of Jason today standing on a table.
I have it.
It's the greatest thing I ever seen. I'm like, if that table breaks, I am going to shit my pants. Literally.
He was saying the same thing. Please don't break. Please don't break. Please don't break.
I would have been done for the day. Like, it was the greatest thing ever. I was like, that's going to break. I hope it breaks. I really do. And then you got a fucking cop here today. Hey, Rob. And hey, baby.
Hey.
I love you.
I love you.
And then the most awesome guy in the whole freaking entire world. The best
thank
doctor
you.
ever. Yeah, we're talking about Dr. Ben Abel.
Oh,
In
make me
the
blush.
house. In the house.
Man,
It's good to finally be here, like in
Yeah.
person, instead of like stuck, as a lifeguard in the shallow in the deep or working in the
All right.
like chat in bed.
We got,
Are we starting over?
I got something in my ear. I don't know.
yeah. And then there's Rocky. The guy hitting the ones and twos in the background right over there. Hey, so you guys,
There's so much going on right now. I'm just trying to figure everything out.
Yeah. we should not drink this much before we start the thing. Hey, listen,
Probably
man.
not.
I just
We can't go.
like it keeps kicking me out.
The most important part of this whole thing today is just to kind of like all shenanigans aside, Echo is live and well.
Yep.
You know
Yes,
what I'm
it
saying?
is.
Like
Yes.
live and well, man. Like over 180 some odd people showed up today, to the conference, and some people didn't even think it was gonna happen. You know what I mean? By the way, there's 11 people there, like future flight crew. And I always say this, like the most important person, one of the most important people in our company, the guy that's like, next to Josh, been pretty much with me from like day one, is Robbie Tester. And the fact is that if Echo didn't exist and the future flight crew program didn't exist, we would not have a Robbie Tester.
He's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He
And
is absolutely
and him and
amazing.
Andy are firing me.
I mean, it's going to be a year or two.
Fucking ridiculous. But man, like this is free education, and if you don't think this is a big deal, like today, Jason, what happened around 3:00? We had to let these people go.
Yeah, they weren't happy.
Yeah, they
didn't want to leave.
We literally had to kick them out of the room.
Yeah,
they
didn't want to leave.
Yeah, and
great learning today.
And we did it. We did it. Kind of tried to wrap up early because they were going to be doing something else later, and they didn't want to leave.
And I'm going to just say this: allegedly, they had to leave because you got basically 11 people that were going to go meet a vendor. And those 11 people probably left that meeting this afternoon with jobs.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
That's good.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. So, it's a big deal, man. And like people don't understand how big of a deal this is and what Echo kind of means to a lot of people. There's a lot of companies like us that would, got their start because of this association. So it is cool to be here and be part of it and be paying back and doing the things that we need to do. So
it really is the best medical conference I've been to.
Yeah, I've been going to
hands down.
Yeah, it's
for the last 20 whatever years I've been going to conference.
And it's what, $50?
Mm-hmm.
$50. You're at a resort.
Yeah.
When you said how much it was, I was like, what?
You do have to pay for your room.
Yeah.
But the conference is only $50.
But they also heavily discounted the rooms for people coming in for the conference.
Trish, could you equal your laptop so it's both you and Carlos?
I can't.
Have to move this
That's awesome. Oh,
Sure, it is right there.
Yeah, I'm kind of a medical conference whore, and I've been to a lot of them around the world. And when you said how much, or really rather how cheap today was, and all the education that they're getting, the people that came, and the speakers that are around, that's impressive.
And it's again for people who don't know, Echo is 4 flight crews, by flight crews, every coast helicopter operation.
Did you need a banana?
I'm not. A doctor's right next to me. I don't need to call him.
Okay.
So that's the cool shit about it. But however, let's not steal the thunder from this great man that's here. By the way, Handsome Andy is here, everybody.
Handsome Andy is here. Come on, Andy. Come have a seat.
I feel like he's in witness protection.
Yeah.
Andy, sit anything sound.
Oh, man.
Sit on his lap.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's Native American style. Thank you very much.
Man,
It took you to tell me that because I don't see color.
Since you bring this up, like,
Oh boy,
the whole changing of the Redskins name. How do you feel as a brown man?
Bears fan,
duh, Bears.
But as a, does it bother you? Like, that team had a change? I don't think Coach Dick would have fucking liked that type of shit.
I think the Coach Dick wouldn't care.
I mean, it's Coach Dick.
He wouldn't care.
He would have had an opinion.
Maybe his mustache would have said something about it. I think Dick would have.
What does Jason's mustache say about it?
Speaking of mustaches,
What is it?
It says
I have a hard time hearing him.
Yeah, I think we just lost you. What'd you do?
What did you do?
it's the mustache.
Check.
Did you say Ditka?
Yeah. Check. Yeah.
What?
Hold on. Jesus, this mustache
I'm good.
is interfering.
You're not good. I can't hear.
I can't hear him
I
either.
can't hear you.
I can only hear him because he's next to
earlier
me.
either.
You should stop playing with that. Didn't your mom tell you you go blind?
But they actually changed
can't
the
hear you
name of
either.
this team.
Let's hear Jason.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Hey, everybody.
All of a sudden, you guys couldn't hear me.
Yeah.
Hey, Ditka.
Ditka.
Hey.
Welcome to the club, Jason.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Listen,
Nobody asked the cop.
Yeah.
That was my wife's
hey,
dog.
Dakota, would you like Rob's seat? So, did it not bother anybody? They changed the name of a fucking football
It bothered
team?
me.
Yeah.
Now we got Dakota.
Same.
But we still have, college teams didn't have to change. We still have Florida State Seminoles.
Well, see, that's the thing. So we were talking to somebody else. Let's see if anybody understands. Why is the name Redskins offensive? What does that have to do with? See,
Is it because it was a hate word?
I think it was according to the Mormons that God burned their skin because they were something.
negative.
Okay.
They'll come from that. So we start,
It was not in the Book of Mormon.
So for years the Redskins, or the Native American people were, they would scalp the shit out of white people, right?
Yeah.
So then when we started scalping them, you scalp them, they bleed, That's why I started calling them Redskins, and that's where the whole name comes from. And that's
so
why
I
it's
kind of
offensive.
get it then.
Yeah, it's offensive from that sense.
Like,
But I also feel like, how long were they that team? Like, I'm so sick of everything. All of a sudden, it's a problem.
Being offensive as shit. And you know,
like it was way more offensive a long time ago.
Yes, than it is now because they don't do that now.
You ready? You ready for me to close the loop on this whole thing? Why would I bring some shit that has nothing to do with Echo? You see, this shit that started like the Echo people, they can't say this. So I'm gonna speak for them.
oh boy.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
gonna speak for them, and this is the thing I'm gonna speak for. There is people in the world that are out for themselves.
What?
They're not out for the fucking team, and they're not out for the thing. And the people that went against these people, like these are good people, man. These are fucking amazing human beings that are doing all this shit volunteer. This is volunteer. This is no pay. There's no, we're not getting any money for this. The whole thing. And the reality is this, hey, you fucking went out on your own for what? For the good of what? You got offended? And and allegedly, and I'm saying the fucking allegedly, and with all due respect,
Just because you say with all due respect doesn't mean you say whatever you want.
It's in the Geneva Convention, so I can say whatever I want. The people that said this allegedly worked for the person that was offended. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, come on, man.
Yeah.
Like, hey, so somebody proves me wrong. Those are the facts. Mm-hmm. I would like to rest my case. Sense. Hey, listen, man.
The defense rests.
If I'm making people uncomfortable, I am sorry. But
Otis is super cute.
But I'm not really sorry.
Yeah,
hey, listen, man. I hate when somebody fucks somebody over that are good. Like, out of nowhere.
I think everybody in this room hates that.
And for you guys to know the background, out of nowhere, the people that we're a nothing company when. They reach out and they go, "Hey man, would you guys be willing to come do some water egress?" And I'm like, "Yeah, man, I'll come out there and do that shit."
Yeah.
And it was not the easiest trip.
West
We just laid
Virginia.
that country mama.
Country mama.
Is that with a toothbrush?
Take me home.
So we call it a toothbrush, not a toothbrush, right?
Yeah. And that exposure to us, to these great people. I mean, look at great people like Rebecca that's here now. Like, I mean, she's amazing.
She's fantastic.
Her husband,
you,
an amazing dude.
Mm-hmm.
Those are things that are born from Echo. Like those are, those
Robbie.
are great things. Robbie Tester.
Yep.
Who's not born from Echo? Rob the cop.
Yeah.
So, hey, Rob, I'm gonna tell you this. Rob was a key component of a cadaver lab today. Were you confused with any of the shit we were doing?
How many times have you done it? You've done it quite a few times. Twice.
What? What is he doing?
He's just
after the cadaver lab.
Well, he stares and he's mouth breathing.
When he finally decides that he's gonna, come over to the dark side and become medically trained,
He's not doing that.
he'll kill it.
And
but I will forever be known as Rob the Cop. It doesn't matter.
Oh yeah.
Hey, we're gonna get to you, Mr. Hole Toucher. In a second. So
you know when he's going to become a flight medic, right?
So far,
you know when he's going to become a flight medic, right?
What?
When pigs fly.
Otis hates
We
the
need
color.
yeah, thank you.
Otis, come here.
We need an Otis cam.
Yeah. Hey, so
You all startled him. I love it.
You know what the fun.
When pigs fly, that's fantastic.
The funniest shit is that right now.
I'm gonna get the treat to give.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm like Gordon.
Yeah. Otis is like, Rob is the top flight medic as far as I'm concerned.
I like how Rob's rewarding Otis for attacking.
Hey, listen, right now, Rob is the number 3 flight medic we got on this team. And that's, obviously because Andy's number 1.
Right.
So then you can rank the rest of people. Rob's number 3. I don't know who number 2 is. I'm not going to mention it. But it's definitely not Justin Hartley. And definitely not Mike Schultz. That old man.
Okay?
He proved himself to you.
He didn't prove shit to me.
Oh, this is just perfect.
What?
Look at that.
Sad dog hates
Hey!
Dakota.
Otis, Becky. I think it's your chest to the molester mustache.
Boy,
Good boy.
I really think it's the chest to the molester mustache. That is.
So every time he attacks Dakota, he gets
Are
a
we
treat.
drinking?
Right.
Drink?
He's figured it out.
Hey,
Kill.
yeah. Hey.
Kill.
But you know what? We don't get Dr. Abbo on this thing, so I'm gonna get off my soapbox
Check.
and stuff.
Check.
You know, and great Doc. I appreciate you being there today, though.
We did
Appreciate
too.
being had. What's up?
Yeah. See,
What'd you say?
I didn't say anything.
you can have some, Doc, if you want. Between you and Andy, you can do whatever you want. You know what?
Really?
I think you with those dimples, no
Look at
matter how
that.
great my hair
God,
usually
it's
is.
just goddamn.
Oh, even on a bad hair day, the hair's still amazing.
Yeah. But you know, it is one of the greatest Doc stories from today is that in the middle we're sitting there doing like the intubations and stuff on the cadaver, and then all of a sudden Doc's like trying to show a picture about something, and then he's like, "Oh, this is me intubating a zebra."
You can't
did not see
where
that
it is,
picture.
but yes.
Yeah. This is me in a giraffe to
I
sedate
did
it.
see an elephant ET tube today.
Yes.
Thing's huge, right?
It is the biggest thing I've ever seen.
You know what? They use as a laryngoscope for an elephant? No joke. An elephant and a rhino. You know what they use as a laryngoscope?
No.
A certain size wood Louisville slugger.
No shit.
Oh, wow.
It's the right size and angle, and you guys laryngoscope. No joke.
Are you fucking kidding me?
100% serious.
That's all American right there.
It is.
You know what I mean?
There's
Fucking-
not much more American than that.
Hi, Robbie.
Oh.
Hi, Robbie. Love you, buddy.
We are
Hey.
a group of degenerates.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you this right here,
It's a
Robbie.
true story.
I resemble that comment.
Your assistant CEO is here, and
Oh,
he's advised me that
she
I'm on
is.
notice. No, you're fired too.
What?
I'm gonna tell you,
I'm fired?
Robbie's gonna fire you. Actually, Robbie's gonna fire you before he fires me, just to make
No.
an example.
I don't believe it for a
This is
second.
what can happen to you.
This is succeed.
This is what can happen.
Start over.
Hey, answer this on the air, there, sir. Were you and Robbie not conspiring the other day, allegedly?
We
Allegedly.
may have had an alleged meeting.
Oh, Lord.
Behind closed doors.
May I close door meeting? Yeah.
What were you doing behind closed
We have an
doors?
open door policy.
Dakota.
An open
It's
back door.
Hiding behind an instrument so Dakota don't fuck him up. But
I got my elevator.
hey, Doc, but in all seriousness, out of like today, what was your experience with the whole thing?
Today was great. And honestly, one of the best parts, too,
He's like, now can you pet me,
was
please?
finishing the day with Otis killing Dakota, I guess.
Someone give me a banana phone and he calls dad.
Hello? so great. So today was great. You know, the people that were there, everyone open to learn. A lot of times you come to conferences and things like this, and people are they just really want to like kind of show off what they already know as opposed to learn.
Yep.
Yeah.
And today was really not that at all. It was people that honestly said where they were at. They actually talked themselves down a little bit, which is great for us to be able to like lift it up. The best was, I mean, I really think we should later I'll share those pictures out of that student Sarah.
Yeah.
It was wonderful because you
I
could
like her.
see the process going through. You saw when that light bulb went on, and then you saw the excitement.
Yeah.
And she's never going to forget that moment when she like followed through, didn't allow what's going through, and you can see it. And you see light bulb go on and other connections and just learning kind of processes and different ways to think things, and that's great. And just overall, everyone just really had that. Like I said before, I am a whore when it comes to medical conferences. I go as much as I can. I try to teach, and in teaching you'll learn. And it was just really great to see that the experience that a lot of them took from it.
And, it is. I wish we could show that picture. I wish we would, but like we'll ask her tomorrow, see if we can.
Yeah.
So Doc's got the progression of her just looking to the airway, looking, and then all of a sudden the most like amazing look on her face, like, oh shit,
There it
there
is.
it is.
She's looking. She's like, I'm keeping my eye on it. I'm keep my eye on.
Yeah.
Doc said, keep the eye on it. Doc said the lift, and I lift this way, and then the airway opened up, and just like it was just awesome. She also was the one that volunteered. Everyone else was like kind of like scared to test out and see where the landmarks were and stuff. So it's impressive. It
is cool, man. It is really, Doc, a pleasure for us because, like, I get to like see you teach, and it for us is an honor because, like, for me, we got the Discovery Channel guy here teaching a lab, allegedly, and
the History Channel.
Yeah, allegedly.
When are we doing drunk history?
Oh, man.
Oh my God.
Drunk scenarios. Let's do it right now.
Oh, we should not do that right now.
Let's do it.
So, man,
that's okay. Hold on. As an aside, I have total ADD anyway. That's
yeah.
But that's basically every medical conference with me. Let's get real.
Let's do
I
it.
drink. We start talking, and I bring out the random stories, the random facts. This is where this came from.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm gonna get
let's
there
do
with
it.
you.
Like,
I'm gonna get there with you. By the
warfarin.
way,
Do you know where the term warfarin even came from? Where the name came from?
this is
No.
good. What's it? Go ahead.
Should we go into this?
Yes,
Do
sir.
it.
Absolutely.
Hey, it's
Do it.
educational.
Yes, sir.
You know one thing that
Rob is that
So-
a lot
don't
of
let
people-
that Doc's cup get empty. God damn it, cops.
Jesus.
He just filled it. He
All
just filled it.
So one of the things that a lot of the students had to say in the class was, "You guys, this isn't a real doctor."
Oh yeah.
They didn't think you were a real
They
doctor.
thought we
Nobody ever does.
No, he's too.
They thought we hired an actor.
Yeah, absolutely.
They
I play a doctor on TV.
One of the best experiences of my entire life was, it sounds horrible when I start this, but hear me out. When we had Danny here on the show, who died, came back to life several times. Okay. Abo came to the hospital, did his thing, and checked him out, like did all this stuff. He comes out into this big waiting room where there's probably like 10 of us left because it's at 10:30, 11 o'clock at night at this
That's why I
time.
was like in the ICU room. Like,
Yeah, this is after he went in. He checked him, like checked all of his stuff. He comes out and there's another firefighter's wife out there. Now she is as bad a bitch as they come. Like, she's scary.
You want her on your side.
You want her on your side, not the other side.
Yeah.
and I've never
Abo's
met her before.
no.
Yeah.
Abo starts talking and he's talking about how he was in there touching Danny and like checking his feet and checking his chest and checking his tubes and all this stuff. And she's like, who the fuck is this guy? Because there's no fucking way he's a doctor. Why are you letting him anywhere near him? Like, lost her mind. She was about to kick his ass all the way across that waiting room.
I got you.
I forgot about that.
And then
Totally.
he's talking in his pediatric doctor voice. So it got even worse. And she's like, he cannot be a doctor. There is no way that he.
Pediatric doctor voice.
I don't know. You like talk like a clown.
Oh man.
Yes.
I look like.
No, you like
Actually,
changed your
Bob, when I
voice.
laugh like Chris.
Holy shit.
Yes, you like sound like a clown.
I'm sorry. All out of respect, I'm trying to pinpoint like who the hell you look like today, and you just nailed it on the head.
Yeah.
Side
Yeah.
Especially about literally, I laugh like Chris.
Yes,
Hey, it's
But
funny.
then you continue talking like that laugh when you're explaining how you talk to kids.
Yeah.
And you
You're
talk
right.
to kids in that tone of voice.
You're
You
right.
know, you've heard it?
Yeah, you're right. But you know who got the best baby voice? Is fucking Jason. Oh man, like when you're teaching classes, Jason will be like, "Okay, who forgot to do this?" And I'm like, he's like, he's just talking to people like babies.
Yeah. He's really good at that.
Oh, he's like, "Okay, you guys forgot this today."
Well, sometimes you gotta slow it down.
A lot of times.
Hey,
Enunciate.
but give me that warfarin story though, Doc.
Yeah.
Hey, watch this.
The warfarin
Hey.
story? All right.
Hey, listen, this is gonna fuck y'all up. Go ahead.
This is the kind of stuff where things come from, right? So, warfarin, back in the day, when they do like castrations and things like that on cows and bulls and whatnot, it's a quick snip, done. Like, I guess it's the symbols of vasectomy. I don't know. I don't do them. I haven't gotten one.
Really?
But I know. And so they realized though at a certain time of year when they were doing it.
I got it. Kay said she had a great time.
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Oh,
Thank you,
okay.
Kay.
You are very welcome.
Doc goes, your name's Kay, like the letter?
Yeah. And she goes,
Hi, Kay. It honestly it's one of my favorite letters.
It is.
Okay.
And it is a very important electrolyte. I mean, potassium
Of course it is.
very
Amen.
important.
Yes,
It
sir.
is life changing.
I
Hey.
also forgot about that. It's a positive thing.
Yes.
So go back to so they go to do
Hey,
these
Rob,
castrations.
we're talking about medicine.
They
If you
go
like-
to do these surgeries.
Okay.
And all this cattle in Wisconsin died. They all bled out. They didn't understand why. They were trying to figure out why. As it turns out, they figured out they all were eating a certain type of mold, like
It's okay.
and greenery.
Daddy's
And so they
talking.
were doing research on it, and at the Wisconsin Agricultural Research Facility, WARF, and they realized that all this bacteria or algae, whatever it specifically was, specific to that led to a change in your INR and your clotting cascade.
No shit.
And so that's what it developed into what we know as Coumadin or
Warfarin.
and that's why it's called warfarin. It's WARF for the Wisconsin Agricultural Research Foundation. So
God damn
that's
it,
who
boy.
paid for it.
That's our doctor.
Yeah.
Like this guy
Yeah.
right here. He's the doctor of this group. And we got a cop. We got a cop in there. We got a cop in there.
Dakota's police
And I do want to point out, I'm a medic, I'm a physician, I'm very proud of it. I'm proud of my background and always learning. I did graduate first in my class,
Yes, sir.
but that's because it was alphabetical order.
Hey Doc, you went to a in the world of EMS. In the world of EMS, your school is a legendary school. Like
Well, so my undergrad.
yeah.
Yeah, I made my med school legendary. I mean, we're the top school in Maryland. No,
Was it legendary?
Yeah.
I hope you're, legend. Hope you're not lactose intolerant, Terry. So, all right, random fun fact on that show. I met your mother.
I love that show.
I became obsessed with the show. Like
I love the show.
Run.
Yeah.
I saw it from the beginning. Saw it, and my brother calls me in the middle of the night. I'm working in the air shift. He calls me. Did you see How I Met Your Mother? The new episode. I'm like, no, I'm at work. Click. He calls back. Click. He calls back again. I'm like, dude, are you dying? No, I'm busy. I'm working in ER shift. And he's like, did you see it yet or not? I'm like, no, not yet. Why? He's like, you need to see it. I'm like, okay, well, I'm at work. Because it turns out the mother, the actress that plays the mother on How I Met Your Mother,
Yeah.
the actress is Kristen Milioti. She was a singer in one of my bands in high school.
Oh,
No
what?
shit.
What?
Yeah, Tony
70.
Award winning. She was
Wow.
like in different shows, like once. I keep seeing her in random TV shows, but she was the mother, the little brunette,
Yeah.
adorable thing. Yeah, it's Kristen Milioti. How
Wow.
weird that is.
No
I
shit.
still love the show. My brother couldn't watch anymore, but I still.
I love that
So,
show.
but there's my ADD again. Anyway, so
I love it.
yeah, I hail from my undergrad. I got a bachelor's in emergency medicine at EMS, University of Pittsburgh, which is,
Yes, sir.
I mean,
Legendary.
absolutely legendary. I just had the pleasure of, I was lecturing in Kansas,
Mhm.
and one of the keynote talk that I gave out of a couple talks was kind of a preview to what I'm doing at the NEMSP, the National Association of EMS Physicians. It's medically oriented rescue. We're so used to so many places where the fire, EMS stands on the side, and fire department's like, we're
Yes,
going to
sir.
go in, we'll cut, we'll bring you the patient. And
Yeah.
the golden hour, and that's golden hour is bullshit. It doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, man.
We
Sorry,
get into
Doc.
that too.
Sorry, Dr. Adam Colley, but go ahead.
So it was great for them, but not anymore. And we could get into that too. But fact of the matter is, medically directed rescue. We need access to the patient, start providing care anywhere.
Yes, sir.
We don't necessarily need to just rush do a hasty extrication. In fact, extrication is a procedure. It's a medical procedure. So you need to decide how to do it, what's best for the patient's situation. If you need to be on scene with them for 8 hours, like I was at the forklift rescue downtown Naples, cool. That's fine with the patient. It's what's best for the patient, life or limb, kind of going through.
Yes, sir.
And so I was good, and a lot of that lecture is based on just talking about the history of EMS as we know it, and the history of emergency medicine as we know it, and a lot of that comes from Pittsburgh. Peter Saffer, inventor of CPR.
Yes, sir.
One of the first civilian EMS systems, Freedom House.
Freedom
which is
House.
the ghetto.
Black, all black.
Black neighborhood. They're like, what we can do
paramedics.
with them? They proved. Nancy Caroline proved.
The book that teaches all paramedics. All of it.
that we can teach these people. And then you have Ron Stewart, one of the greatest human beings ever. Amazing guy. And he did critical care medicine, was the medical director for LA County. And it was amazing. He then went to Pittsburgh. He started the Center for Emergency Medicine. And I found when I was working at Pitt, because I stayed on faculty there after I was in college, I found his old notebooks and pictures and stuff. And he would always come for Christmas.
You sleep on your couch and shit, like
yeah. He'll stay, and he won't stay in the guest room. Like I'm comfortable, whatever.
Y'all don't understand. This is my Graceland.
This
is like I'm talking to Elvis right now.
Right. So, he basically he's like, how are we going to teach these guys, these firefighters, that are great trauma medics because they were in Vietnam and stuff in the early 70s? How are we going to teach them medicine? Like, how do we teach them how to take care of heart attacks and deliver care out there? Right? So he put himself through fire school. He put himself through the fire academy. Ron Stewart is the medical director who, after this, he and Jim Page were the consultants for the show Emergency. Which
nice.
You can't be an EMS probably without seeing Emergency, Mother Jugs, and Speed.
Yes, sir.
Right?
You know how hard it is to see Mother Jugs
through
and Speed
fire
right now?
school. And he's like, these firefighters, they know hoses, not hose. Hoses.
I know some hose myself.
They know pipes and fluids and fluid dynamics.
Yes.
So his notebook sketchings of pipes and fluids, that was the first time. And he's like, I can teach them hypoperfusion and shock.
Yeah.
Based on that. And that's where it came from. So his notebook, he's like, he finds it. He's like, oh my God, the Smithsonian's been bugging me for this. So he takes a page where, like, it's this notebook that I found randomly going through stuff is on display in the EMS history part of fire and EMS.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
This is the guy who then went from LA to Pittsburgh, started that, like I said, Center for Emergency Medicine, got Pitt to buy a helicopter. They didn't even know they bought a helicopter. That's the funniest
That's
part.
right.
Air Medicine, MedStat back then, which now
Stat Medevac
stuff. They started the Center for Emergency Medicine, which was a hallway, and he's like, we're going to do, under the center, we're going to do the Office of Education. It was one room.
Yes,
So
sir.
it set the office up, and then, different colors down the hallway. The pictures are amazing, but the first physicians responding in that city and stuff, Dr. Paul Paris, one of my other mentors, is in his purple 70s Buick Skylark, and docs would respond to calls, helping medics learn to advance the not just to do the stuff, but to help the medics advance.
Yeah.
And they would do monthly readers or every couple of months for the monographs, and it was like a whole thing, a monograph on combi tube or chest pain. Like that's a lot of the history of EMS as we know it. And that's Pitt.
It's I have Dr. Saffer's I have an article he wrote, which is Fluid and Electrolytes, the Understanding of Shock. And is the thing that, like, still to this day, like when we teach classes and I'm teaching people volume deficits and how to determine shock and the different shocks and stuff like that, that's still the data. Like the man learned, he learned how to teach mouth breathers how to do this. He taught shock to people, and and if you understand shock, if you understand you know how to fix it, you know how to prevent it, and you get people to the hospital alive. Yeah. And like that guy believed that fireman in that truck could actually do it. And the thing people don't understand about the show Emergency and Mr. Did you ever meet Jim Page himself at all?
Yeah.
Like in person, man, that's gotta be fucking crazy. Jim Page. So you got the character in Emergency, Johnny Gage. And they actually is supposed to be Jim Page. So but he doesn't want a character named after him. You know what I mean? He said, but at the beginning of that show, by the way, is a spinoff of Adam 12. Okay. So they spin off Adam 12 into Emergency, the show. But by the way, just 3 weeks ago, Chet died from it.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Chet, which if you're not familiar with the show, you had to get yourself familiar with.
Yeah.
He was like the jokester firefighter.
He was a real fireman too, right?
Yes.
He was a real fireman. So Chet and then I forget what the Spanish dude's name and then the driver, they were all real LA County firefighters.
So random awesome aside, and given where we're at right now, because we're on Fort Myers Beach, and right across is Sanibel, Captiva, which are two of my fire departments now that I'm a medical director. Who'd have thought they went from medic to that? But I randomly was at one of the hotels and bars over there, and I was messing around with my drone, with the boat. there's a guy, and we were chit-chatting, and my best friend Miles, who's a captain for Miami-Dade Fire Rescue, and his friends, and we're just chit-chatting, and these guys in this other boat, I'm like, sorry, I got some drone footage of your boat, but it's really baller. Like, if you want to send it, chit-chatting. I keep saying chit-chatting like 5 times in 1 minute. Sorry.
Well, that's a Jewish word.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So, turns out he's a retired LA Fire, and turns out he was in the opening scenes.
No shit.
He legit was like in the first episode, putting on fire gear and stuff, and I was like, no way. And he starts doing the name dropping and stuff about Jim and others that I knew were people that aren't like the famous names like Jim and Stewart. And he was dropping some names, and I'm just like, you're serious.
Oh yeah, it's
legit.
legit.
Oh my god, this is weird. And this is right across the bay. Like at this window, we can see where they were.
That's crazy, man. For the people that don't know this, so the show Emergency hits the air. At the beginning of that first show in that first season, access to advanced life support was about 15 to 30 minutes average across the United States. By the second season of that show, ALS care was within 4 to 5 minutes from the average caller 911.
Really? Wow.
Yes, sir. Second season, 2 seasons, 2 seasons, man. That thing changed the way, like the approaches of like,
it definitely,
people want it because everybody goes, I want 2 firemen with that shit talking to a doctor right next to me right now.
2 firemen.
Well, you got 1, baby.
Yeah, 2 dudes at once. I wish people could see me, but Trish's giant cup is right in front of me right now.
What?
Just saying,
Your
like
cup.
like a pink thing.
Yeah.
So, but Doc, like when you meet these legends and these things, like to me and you, that this is a big thing, and like going back to your roots. You're a kid growing up in Jersey.
Yep. I was raised in Jersey. I still refuse to grow up.
Yes. But you're a volunteer. You're in EMS, like super young too, right?
Yeah. The day after I turned 16 was my first shift. I still remember.
Wow.
Mount Laurel, New Jersey, which is the township next to Cherry Hill where I grew up. And Otis, bro, seriously, come on, we're talking. So, I started volunteering there, and it's funny because I was always kind of, even as a kid, smaller. I was playing with micro machines, like, and all.
Millennials, those are tiny little cars that people used to play with.
I had a fleet of fire, police, and EMS vehicles.
Yes.
A ton of police cars.
See what you wanted to be secretly.
Yeah, right. I love that cup. Anyway, so we and then I saw a kid that I went to high school with putting on like this jumpsuit, this coveralls. I'm like,
oh shit,
it looked like he was working at a gas station because everything's just navy blue coveralls.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, I volunteer in the ambulance. I'm like, what?
What the fuck are you doing?
I was 15. He's a year older. And like, what? He's like, yeah. I'm like, no way. He's like, yeah. I'm like, I want to see this. So he was able to drive. I couldn't yet. And so he drove me over to the station and showed me around. And I'm just like, oh my god, this is amazing, right? The woo-woos, the bling bling, and I see the ambulance,
The
all the
woo-woos.
equipment. I'm like, this is so cool.
Never goes away, does it?
And I remember the volunteer crew there was like, so what do you think? I'm like, this is awesome. Like, you're gonna join? I'm like, me? They're like, yeah. Put my application stuff. So literally, my first shift was the day after I turned 16. I still remember the calls that day. Really well.
That's so crazy.
And almost every day
crazy,
since I turned 16, and I'm now 40 and a half.
It's crazy. Me and the doctor are the same age.
Yeah.
I
could have been so much more.
Since. Yeah, like,
Yeah.
so New Jersey's all 2 tiers.
Yeah, honestly, God, like hearing you talk, so I'm just depressed now with everything.
Allegedly.
And I was rolling up on, I was rolling up on car wreck. That's sick thing.
Yeah.
Said he was just kissing me.
Hey.
Well, you bothering the dog, baby. That's a
So,
that dog is a learned doctor.
So New Jersey was 2 tiered. So I volunteered for Mount Laurel EMS, which is part paid, part volunteer, but it was all BLS. And the medics were countywide.
So when I first was able to get started, they waited until I was 18. Like I couldn't.
Oh,
volunteer.
so I'll tell you.
So
I'll tell you.
Depends, but I couldn't attend on the ambulance by myself.
So me and
here's the funny thing. Wait, I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is really funny. So I went through EMT school. In New Jersey, they were phasing out EMT A, and they had EMT B and D. So I go through EMT school, I pass all the tests and everything, but I wasn't 18, so I was not allowed to use the semi-automated defibrillator.
Yeah, is that crazy?
The automatic thing that we now have at airports. And
Everybody,
public
civilian
and
can
everywhere,
use.
Yeah.
I wasn't allowed to use trained on the ambulance. So I had an EMTB. And then once I turned 18,
Yeah,
same
EMTD.
patch, but it said defibrillator.
Oh, man.
Defibrillation across the patch.
So back.
I went through those classes when I was like 4.
I'm sure you did. Yeah, with your dad. Your
That's
dad.
like 5 years ago, right?
Yeah, your
Yeah.
dad tells me these stories all the time.
Yeah.
So
I remember the movies.
back in 97, me and Dustin Pierce, so these are Orange County dudes, we're the two youngest people ever given a paramedic patch in the state of Florida, and we were like they changed rules right after that shit. Basically, they never
Because
What'd you
there
do?
was no age attached to the thing where you can go to school and take the exam. So we go like that. We
Why
like
couldn't
that's
they
an
get an
actual.
exam, huh?
It was an actual rule change, and what they ended up doing was they were like, "Hey, can these kids take the test?" But me, if it was just me, and I'm not just saying because I'm a brown person, but that dude, that it was so lucky and fortuitous. That's a big fucking word that I just did drunk right there. Thank you, baby. I love
So
you.
proud.
I love you. That dude's dad was a fire chief. Where was that dude's dad a fire chief at? Nah, Leesburg.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, so that dude's dad is a fire chief, and that dude's kid was going to be allowed to be a fucking young paramedic. You don't care he was 18.
Right.
So fast forward years later, me, Dustin, he's a Bay flight medic. So he gets hired like a couple years. He got hired like a year or two before me over there, and then one of the biggest helps that I had becoming a flight paramedic was that guy. So because when you're like 20 some odd years old, 22 years old, nobody wants to give you a fucking flight job.
Right.
But that is probably one of the smartest, most well-spoken, calm individuals on any scene I've ever seen in my whole entire life, and just in any condition, teaching, nursing school. He's always just been a trailblazer, and he's just a young dude that just passionate for the job. You know what I mean? And this is, now he's a chief. He's a chief at a big fucking ass, allegedly, department.
Yeah.
So, God, hey,
Allegedly.
hey, Rob.
I'm gonna do it for every patient.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey, Rob, do you want to frisk Patricio or something, make you feel better since we're talking all this EMS shit?
Don't suggest that to him. I think he wants to shoot.
He already.
You already did that.
Rob's dad, being that we're at a flight conference, Rob's dad is a legend in
I
the
can't
flight
believe
community.
he's not here.
You know what I mean? Do you know who
Someone
that?
has to work.
Hey, Doc, you know who his dad is, right?
No, he doesn't.
No.
Here we go.
You're
Here we
gonna
go.
shit your pants when I tell you who's that. What is your last name, Rob?
Hall.
That's Ed Hall's kid from Air Care.
You don't see the resemblance? Wait, look. Here we go.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh,
You don't like Ed Hall?
yeah. Can you believe that shit? You know how many people don't put that shit together all the time? Ed Hall's kid's a cop. What the fuck did you do? Why do you hate your dad? That's what people say. Oh man, yeah. Hey, that's some funny
And
shit.
he has a twin brother.
Yeah, allegedly.
Allegedly.
Who's a paramedic? Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Right. Right.
Yeah, Black Belt. Doc, I want to just take a quick break and talk about Patricio's hole touching that he was doing today. So, the funniest thing that happens to me today is that I'm sitting there. Now, the doc's got a good groove going. He's got chest tubes going, finger thoracotomies. He's doing all this other stuff. And Patricio's shooting video. And he looks over at me and goes, hey, you think I could put my finger in that thing over there?
I didn't say it like that.
You probably did.
What are we
Yeah.
talking about right now?
I
Yeah.
said,
What are we talking about?
can I
He
try that?
stuck his finger in the.
In what?
In the chest. He's
In the
doing finger
chest.
thoracotomy. So, Patricio, what?
He partook in part of our learning experience.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thanks to someone's gracious donation to science.
You know what?
Absolutely.
That is true. I do say.
And that's what happened.
That's awesome.
I will say, man, that anybody that donates their organs and their body to science, man, it's like what a
What a
gift.
privilege.
Whatever. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. But you're beautiful, baby. Good to put that.
Negative 2 minutes.
Yeah.
I get an extra
Yeah, we
2 minutes?
can't. No, we cannot assign that. She is already in debt. You know what I mean? So, but Patricio, let me ask you this: what is your thoughts on that? Like, as a non-medical person, like actually watching this stuff.
So it's funny because one of the girls was talking to me about the same thing, and when I was 3 years old, my mom actually took me to a live autopsy. She's a surgery coordinator. Yeah.
Wait.
Get my PBR down.
Hashtag works matter.
No, I said it like that because that's how they said it too. Because for the entire drive over there, I thought I was going to be in the room watching it on TV. But because my mom didn't have a babysitter at the time, and I think my mom was being the doctor at that time or whatever.
Man, your mom's out. Is that the big? Was that the Muslim dude? Was he a doctor?
No.
The man that get mad for your egg rolls. Everybody go first to Patricio.
Like?
Look at me, make me lighter and more hair. But no, she took me out there, and they were opening up the chest, and
Sorry.
So you saw the fastest way.
Oh my
What did
god!
I teach you today?
And he's still single.
Between the left, fourth, and fifth ribs.
no, I'm not.
Oh.
I'm not.
What'd you do?
What happened?
Oh man!
No, there's peace. There's peace.
What?
Man, Rob, put him in handcuffs.
Do it now.
God damn it, Rob!
Take him out and
I
throw
should
him
have-
over the balcony.
I should have Rob kick you in the head.
But no,
Where's Andy? Give him his
It was a
spot.
good experience because, like I said, I saw that when I was 10 years old, and then seeing it now live again, it was really cool because a lot of I watch a lot of plastic surgery on Snapchat by Dr. Man. So like seeing cut through the
That's the sake of me, Dr. 305.
Yeah, you're not.
Yeah.
cutting through the fat today, cutting through the skin, moving into layers. Someone said, "Oh, look at his form." I'm like, yeah, I see Dr. Man do this all the time on Snapchat. But
Yeah.
See one, do one, teach one.
and it was really, really fun.
It's
And thank you for letting me put my finger
I have a
there.
question.
yeah.
So, like, you legit did a couple procedures. Like, granted, you don't know the indications like that, but you learned how to properly do some of these life-saving, Otis, dude, seriously, procedures. How's that feel? Like, that you processed through, and when you looked at me and I turned, I'm like, you did it. How'd that feel? Like,
No, it was cool because like you guys are great teachers, and literally just like you, Dr. Alba, you guided me, Carlos, you telling me how to do it, and just within a few minutes, boom, I was doing it. It was really freaking cool, and like I can't wait to talk about this, on Chaos, talk about all my friends. Because this, honest to God, was amazing. I have no words for it. It was an awesome experience.
I'm glad that the if you had words for it, that they would not include "I'm ready to do it tomorrow."
No.
Things that are discussed
I
on the podcast are not allowed to be done. You need to follow.
Your medical directors.
protocols. Go on.
Yeah,
Yes.
no,
Thank you, sir.
It's what he said.
Oh, hey.
I flew a plane. I was in a paper simulation about 2 weeks ago. Just behind the controls, but I'm not ready to fly a plane on myself. No. It was a fun experience. I got to learn a few things. But I'm not going to go out there and be like, hey, I'm certified. I want to do it.
He has a trunk.
Yeah.
Do you see Otis right now?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Hey, maybe it'll calm down.
Hey,
Right. Jeez.
I can't look at that.
Poor guy.
So,
He
but
is drinking screwball
I want to
straight.
acknowledge. I want to come back to this in a moment, but I just want to acknowledge, because this is my child here, my fur child. I'm a proud parent. Poor Otis. Like, I adopt him, rescued him,
He's a sweetheart.
and all of a sudden, like, shortly there, I had a great roommate at the time who they moved in at the same time, like a friend was moving in because he needed a temp place to stay, and then I was like, "You okay with dogs? Because I'm gonna go rescue one tonight."
Yeah.
Then I'm deployed for hurricanes, and then all of a sudden I'm
He's
filming
drunk.
a TV show, gone for 3 weeks at a time, back for a week. Poor Otis even. And then we move to a new
He's already
house.
drunk.
He loves peanut butter.
I moved into this. He's really on roll. And I moved to this house, and then go do trips again. But
I do love that
suddenly-
song.
We were walking. I took him out for a walk, and all of a sudden I'm gone for a month, literally within minutes because Surfside.
Right.
And then I come back, and so anyway, I was just gone for a few days, Kansas, and then gone all day because we were teaching today. So I had to bring him, but he's a trooper.
He's good
And
now.
He's very protective of me.
He's a good
It's
dog.
funny how no one's over
He's
roll.
just reacting to everybody laughing. So
Yeah.
I apologize for that, but
No, he's a good dog,
anyway,
man.
but
It's fun.
incredible experience, and to see you it click.
Yeah.
You saw it. You saw it in the students. You saw it in him. It was
Yeah.
no fucking medical training. I
Yeah.
don't even know if he knows how to use an AED. That's automatic.
Yeah.
Shocking.
It's we got to get back to that because you got to hear him tell this story.
Yeah,
It's
but
the best story.
pause over everything.
Yeah.
I came into this room about an hour before
Yeah.
to set everything up, get all the mics, the cameras, everything going, and then we start setting up the laptops. We start setting up the cameras. We're passing out codes, getting everything going, and I get to Trish like 20 minutes to realize she was in the wrong podcast.
Oh, fuck. Oh, Trish.
I'm sorry.
Hey, I'm glad you brought this up. Trish is I don't know what podcast he was on.
She was on Entering the Black Hole.
I do.
She loves entering black holes. I have entered several of her holes at the time. Trish has got a good two black dude story, which we will get to one day on the podcast.
We are
Talking about that allegedly. I said allegedly, and with all due respect.
We're
Hey,
not talking about it.
so listen, I want to talk to Birthday Buddy for a second.
Oh.
That's me.
Hey, the new assistant of the she's my new assistant.
Yeah.
She'll be answering a bunch of shit and
Good.
telling people to go fuck themselves.
I'm
So-
really good at
She's
that.
good
Yeah.
at that.
Hey.
I love it.
But Birthday Buddy, you was in the back there taking some pictures and stuff. What you think?
I did. I took a lot of pictures. I think it's amazing to watch you guys teach, all of you. You guys are one of the most animated group of teachers out there, which I think really helps. And that's why people keep coming back. And that's why you started this class at 8 a.m. and at 3 o'clock, you had to kick these people out.
Out of class.
Like they were not done. They weren't.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's some shit.
After they were complaining, I only got 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Right. But then they didn't want to go. And that's more than just what they were learning. That's a testament to you guys and how you're teaching it and how you're interacting with them and what they're learning. Look, the hippo is climbing on a table. I mean,
Hey.
come on.
I'm gonna tell you this.
In under them.
I love watching Jason do some shit. Like I
completely missed
I really had
There
no
were a couple times I just look at Carlos and he's just staring longingly at Jason. Just
I
watching him.
I know what's it. I didn't really have time to explain a lot of shit to Jason this morning. Like other than going like, hey man, I'm gonna need you to get
I'm gonna need you to get on the table.
I'm gonna need you to do some
and
shit
I'm
over
gonna need you
there.
to explain some shit.
I need you to do some shit over there on that thing. And yeah, just go and get that, make that happen. And then Jason goes, Okay. And then all of a sudden I look over there and there is a table stressed to the max. Because he's not just on the table, he's moving like he's in a concrete structure. He's
Yes.
just, hey! I'm like, if that
Yes.
thing breaks, I am shitting my
I
pants.
have a full progression of the pictures of the, the whole thing.
There's nothing but mustache and hair up on that fucking table.
Yeah.
It's a fucking great
But you
thing.
know what? It's
I am
hilarious.
mesmerized watching you eat that banana.
Oh, jeez.
Oh man.
Wow, that's for phone calls.
Now I can't call medical control. Thank you.
You just used up one.
Guess we can't call the doctor.
Hello.
Hello.
Drop it, ring it.
Oh man.
But,
So you really not single? You really not
Let's
single?
talk about something.
What did
Oh
you
God damn it! Rob, put him on the. Do what you do.
Cut him up.
Yeah.
Shoot him.
So
Shoot him.
hey Rob. as you sit there today and you're watching a medical expert and you grew up, around your dad, what do you think? I would like to hear your honest opinion.
I'm used to it.
And like, listen, man, one of my, I love working with your dad. Your dad would crack me the fuck up every time we go, like, because that dude knew somebody everywhere. You go like, hey, I've never been to this hospital before. It's a brand new hospital, not even in our area. And then somebody would go, at home?
I feel like that happens to me too.
Yeah.
Hey,
Everybody.
Carl, it's even worse when you walk through the grocery store and they're like, hey, you're Ed Hall's son. Who the hell are you?
Oh,
Yeah.
that doesn't
I'm like,
matter.
I don't know you.
Yeah, I know your dad.
But they want to talk about dad. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, cool. I still don't know who you are or where I know you from.
Then how does that make you feel?
Well, that there's two of me running around. Either you know my dad or you're like, hey, I know you. Like, I did a honor guard detail the other day. And the guy's like, hey, I didn't know you were with the sheriff's office. I'm not. I'm who you think I'm not. Huh? I'm the other one. The other one is
I'm the
who?
white one.
There is two. Like, to me, these two identical twins don't look nothing alike.
They do not look.
No.
Like, I can pick those motherfuckers out. I know which one
Instantly.
is which. One's
Yeah.
got a little bit of a drool to him. And it's like, and a
That's
broken
not
nose
tough.
now. They're like Rob broke his brother's nose. at the-
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
We let Rob run one thing.
Oh my God,
Oh.
Patricio.
Oh, what did you
Oh.
do?
He just spilled
Oh.
America's beer all over his phone
Oh my
What?
God.
and then put it on the board.
So we let Rob do one event. And then his brother shows up with a bloody nose.
I don't know this story.
Well, when we're in that,
You
what
were there.
you were there. You were in that
Yeah.
in-doc.
Oh, I thought
And
you were talking about something different.
No,
Okay.
man, his brother's nose was
Oh, yeah.
broken.
Yeah.
Like, he's got a
What?
cut.
I wasn't there. I don't know what you're talking about.
That's because you didn't come. You were
Doc,
busy.
And then Doc,
I think
all of a sudden, like, we do the boat thing. We do the boat thing, like they come under the out of the cold water.
Yeah.
And that dude
Oh,
showed.
it's the last thing. Oh,
Yeah.
when
You were still at Surfside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, his brother comes out of the boat. He's got. All I know is I left Rob in charge.
That was your first mistake.
I look back over there,
The
and his
only one
brother's
hurt.
nose is bloody.
The
Like,
only
he's
one hurt.
bleeding. Like,
Really?
Bloody.
allegedly, he may have needed stitches.
Maybe.
Nothing
Maybe.
the Band-Aid can't fix.
It did fix it.
I'm in the wilderness in Oscar medicine. That's duct tape.
Super glue.
Hey,
Look at that duct tape. Oh, wow.
Hold on.
Look at that duct
Hold on. We gotta do this right.
yeah, hold on.
All right, go ahead.
Duct tape is the only flammable product allowed on this space shuttle.
No shit.
What?
Other than like the actual fuel itself, it's the only flammable product.
Why?
Why? Because it's got so many fucking uses.
Yeah. You
Right.
can't use that shit for anything.
Well, no, you know, like, if duct tape can't fix it, use more duct tape.
Well, it's funny y'all bring that up because we were just talking about a cop.
I do love.
I had a duct tape conversation with a cop today. Did I not?
We did.
Yeah. I go, hey Rob, we should probably tape some of those chucks to this people's carpet. And Rob goes, "Did you have it? What kind of tape did you ask me for?" Mind you, before Rob answered the
Did I
question,
already text you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Bring the tape in the thing? Or you
I
already
brought the
gave me
tape.
he brought
Yes,
the tape.
I brought the
I know,
tape.
but I texted you for it.
Yeah.
Yes.
The doc asked for the tape.
He asked
And
for the
What
tape.
kind of tape?
I didn't want Carlos to take the credit for it. I was
Duct.
thinking about it.
Right, we had to leave the helicopters because Abo
Anyway,
needed
go
duct
on.
tape.
So Doc asked for tape. Tape got there. I go, hey Rob, we need some tape because it's got chucks and like the drip collection. Yeah.
Which was good.
And
Oh my.
and then Rob goes, hey, you have any what kind of tape?
It's gaff tape. It's made for taping to floors of convention centers.
Who the fuck knows that? and let me allegedly say this.
Thank you.
Like,
Thank you.
I'm in the middle of like thinking of all kinds of other shit. I got phone going off. There's a woman allegedly sick. That
There's
lady-
half a body on a table.
Yeah, there's a half body on the table.
That was springing a leak at some point.
Yeah, and then a man's telling me about what kind of tape?
Gaff tape.
Yeah.
What's
I
gas tape?
looked at Rob and I go, listen, the doctor ordered it. Did you go to medical school? No. Go take this shit up.
And like a good cop, I did.
I love this shit, man. It's like this is the,
State Farm there?
yeah.
I was
But
just
check
singing
this-
this song in my head.
Doc, this is the one thing I do want to say. At some point today, the dude had a zebra on his phone. They got intubated by him. Like
I
that's
still have
big
not
tip.
seen that.
Allegedly, that was
I don't
on his
know what we're
phone.
talking about.
Don't say where.
but allegedly.
But yeah, I've had the experience to be able to partake in the healthcare of
Zebras.
various wildlife.
Now
Not
because
like basic random experiencing. I'm not like hunting, paying, but yeah, my experiences in helping others do stuff in zoos and I
Oh, good
almost said
cop.
preservatives, but like conservatories.
So because you're a doctor, which for people, does that mean they'll just automatically give you a veterinarian's license? Too?
No, I do not have a veterinary license.
Yeah, but you
I feel like
probably
you should.
Yeah, I feel like you
it's
would.
so much harder to
you
get in
would
vet
qualify.
school, and I get paid.
Hey, but Doc, you
I've
do.
heard that.
But no, it's relationship building and doing stuff. Now, granted, I am supposed to, and I'm trained, dude. I am.
You gonna get choked
I'm
up.
this close.
I'm trained to take care of dogs.
Should we put him in the other house?
What did you learn about
With Dakota?
Yes.
Yes.
Let's do it.
But for urban search and rescue, we're trained emergency care for our canine and basic well-being and their pad care, sutures, hydration, and stuff. And then my relationship and work with Venom and vet school and stuff. And I developed relationships to be able to train and keep my chops up to take care of the dogs on the team. And this asshole right here.
Yeah.
That
He's drunk.
I've
He
had
doesn't
some
know what
really
he's
great
doing.
experiences, and then my
Do
work
not give
also
the
in
dog
Africa and abroad, and volunteering in zoos.
Yeah.
I just
Not
was
the first one to do
I
that.
legit was just giving him some whiskey. I'll admit.
Hey,
Allegedly.
listen, you don't want Trish to pour anything to anybody's thing. I got a date I don't remember. And like Robbie has video of that day. That's the only reason I know that shit
Listen.
happened.
I am not the person that
Into
served
the mic.
you all of
In
them.
reality, I didn't give him whiskey.
Were you there that day?
I was there that
Okay.
day, but I did not serve
I
you
like-
all of them.
I like the rest of my case.
I did
Hey.
not force you to
Prosecution,
drink them.
right?
I did
Beg, the
serve
doctor
them.
is
I did not
speaking.
force you to drink
You
them.
got a
We need a
learned,
gavel.
you got a learned man on the microphone, and you will respect his learning.
Respect his authority.
2 minutes. 2 minutes.
No.
Carlos needs a gavel.
So, hey, Jason, what was that word you and the doc kept saying today? The people say wrong all the time.
Toxa something.
Oh yeah. What's this?
Toxinology.
What's this? You're about to watch. I just like to hear the Spanish man say it, sir. If you don't mind.
toxinology.
You know, the doctor says it. It sounds right. When Jason says it, I'm like, that fucking guy pronounced that wrong.
Correct. Not Gringo.
I go, that guy did
I am
not
the
say that
president
right.
of GWB, Gringos Without Borders.
You know, it's you know the greatest thing. Like, listen, you have like we get calls from Africa
That's true.
for the doc. Somebody call and I go, hey, can I talk
No.
Dr. Benjamin Abbo? Do you know how many times a day somebody will call and ask, can I teach Dr. Benjamin Abbo? I'm like, oh,
For what?
who are you? And what would you like with the doctor?
Right.
Yeah,
I
not,
appreciate him screening because I already had people thinking
not available.
Faking pregnancy.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah.
my.
Oh yeah. Allegedly, sir. Allegedly. And you know, let me say this: like if you have a venom problem right now, this is the guy that people are calling for that shit.
Yeah.
You should go to the hospital if you have a venom problem right now.
Yes, absolutely.
But
Call
it's the
911.
guy they're
But Doc,
calling
let me
for
ask you this:
anywhere.
I'm one of the guys.
in the
as a
world.
as a
No, you're
as a
the guy.
flight nurse and a paramedic, should somebody put a snake on the helicopter with me?
Never.
God damn it.
What about a
Sorry, what was that?
What
No
about-
answer?
snakes on planes. I don't want no motherfucking snakes on no motherfucking planes.
I have spoken about this on the podcast before, and like people try to give me the fucking snake. How many people get bit by a dead snake?
I don't think
It
any of
actually,
It takes a certain special kind of person to get bit by that
yeah,
snake.
a fucking idiot that's handling a dead snake can still be envenomed.
Yes.
them. Why would you
Absolutely.
handle
Any
a dead
idiot
snake?
that'll pick
Well,
it up.
Because they want to give it to
I
Carlos.
don't wear a white coat often, but I legit have a white coat that says Florida manologist.
So
Legit, there's a guy in Texas who and the head was already it was off the snake for over 24 hours. He's in the ICU for 4 days. He
Dang.
gets envenomed by a rattlesnake head.
Holy crap,
Fucking
man.
Florida man in Texas.
because he
Man.
was fucking with something he shouldn't have been.
So,
Yeah.
it's
So
the venom's
that's how
there.
so many news
The
stories start.
fangs.
Florida man.
Yes.
I know.
That's how I was meant to live here. Like I said, I'm just a lifeguard that shower into the gene pools.
Oh my god.
I love
I love
the
that.
Appalachian Center for Wilderness Medicine. They have a bumper sticker that's on my bike rack. I love it. I want to make another version, disrupting natural selection since '96. But in reality, so fangs are just like 21 gauge needles. They're
Shit.
And then there's the venom, the syringe. It's in a sack, so it can,
A
as
sack?
long as it's squeezed, it'll come out.
I believe
And
you.
it'll go
So.
in.
Squeeze a
And it'll be
sack.
checked.
What?
Yeah. Hey, that's
Give
gonna
it a
happen in a
squeeze.
little bit. If you keep interrupting the doctor, you may be sanctioned.
Oh.
Yeah, go ahead and stop. Yeah. So.
So awkward turtle. But you absolutely can. And then I even had a guy who, killed up outside of Gainesville. He legit got bite. We call it a legitimate bite if it was a true accident, not some fucktard fucking with
Yeah.
right? So he was gardening or landscaping, rather, farming, whatever. He's an agricultural worker. He gets bit by a snake. He's very upset that he got bit. I would be too. He's in a lot of pain. He kills the snake. I wouldn't do that. But then he's like so upset. He's in so much pain. He picks it up and he grabs the top jaw and the bottom jaw and he rips it. It was like
Oh
Mortal
my
Kombat.
goodness.
Fatality. Right? He rips it. And so now his other hand is bit. Now he's bit
On both ends.
on both hands.
From grabbing it, so if you
So
grabbed it,
smart.
You got 2 knives in your leg.
He got bit on both hands because he grabbed the jaws and ripped it in half. Successfully. It's
oh my god.
Oh, that is
But
the
go
smartest
back.
dude you've
Don't
ever met,
put it
huh?
in the ambulance. Don't bring it in a bin. Don't try and catch it or kill it. Don't put it on a fucking helicopter, which happens multiple times.
Yes, sir. The people
Even
try to do this
happened
all the time.
Not even 3 years ago here in Florida. I found out that snake was on the helicopter. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Sir, I scream at people all the time about this.
I may have seen one time a snake with
At
that
band
was
camp?
on what?
At band camp?
in band
I
camp.
did.
That's
I
completely
thought
different story.
it had
Sarah's coming in with
this was
comments.
back when we actually took X-rays. They weren't digital.
Oh yeah.
Sarah,
I'm so old. Anyway,
you're
Would you
on.
like to tell your story about
No, I
the
don't really
allegedly
care.
about the dudes?
Nope.
Okay. Well, we'll move on then. So
Oh, real quick, Carlos, you should read Trish, you should read the comment.
Sarah.
what happened?
Can we send Sarah the
it
other?
says, thanks everyone for an awesome day at the lab. Your knowledge combined is beyond compare.
Is that
And I feel
Sarah?
so humbled to have learned from all.
I'm going to call her. Is that
you
my
all.
Sarah from Pennsylvania?
Sarah,
Hey,
are you from Pennsylvania?
It could be. She could be.
Yeah.
so-
Is that
This is the one
Sounds
from
like-
class
yeah.
today. Yeah.
So, Sarah, we need to. I took some pictures that
Oh.
we need to get to you because they're amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty
cool.
I need permission to be able to share those pictures.
Yeah, cool.
We need Sarah on the show.
It is the
Yeah,
pictures
tomorrow.
of you
Sarah,
Yeah, tomorrow.
tomorrow,
when
if
you
you
were
would like,
debating at the end, and you just see that moment. That's what we were talking about earlier.
if you would like to be on the show tomorrow, maybe just to say hello or something like that.
Baby, I love you, but there was a learned doctor talking on the microphone, and you interrupted him again.
Sorry, I just played doctor on TV.
I think you're practicing medicine without a license.
I don't fucking think I
And-
did that at all.
That's against the law.
I did not. Do
No,
that.
but,
Rob, would you arrest her, please?
there were
a lot of people going to jail
that,
tonight.
Deserve some stuff, but Sarah, we got some swag for you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
and you know,
By
I
the way, hold on. I know we're on air or whatever, but
Yeah.
would you remind me to bring Venom 2 shirts to sell tomorrow? Because
Absolutely.
I have so much swag in the garage. We got to get rid of it.
Hey, is that
Wait,
now? If you're wearing a shirt and you get on a helicopter, is that bringing a snake on a helicopter?
Oh, because it actually has two
Is it a
snakes
snake
on
a
it.
plane?
well, they
True,
will.
but no.
I will.
You have Venom too, Swag?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's
don't have
not-
any stickers and stuff, but I've
It's
got
not
shirts.
it's not what your millennial brain's thinking. It's like a Venom shirt for
I have
Not
shirts
the
with
movie.
Venom
T-shirt.
Not the movie.
Venom.
So it's not.
no.
Not
No.
Marvel.
Isn't it fucked up that I have to,
Oh,
I
my
just had
gosh.
I just had to do a millennial translation.
And the fact
I am a learned person.
Fuck your defense. Talking about snakes and
Hold on, this is great.
Not a lawyer.
Do you have any
Fired.
witnesses to call?
You are fired.
Your declaration made it simply clear because of the fact that tomorrow Venom 2 comes out, I was of the impression.
Oh,
that
man.
when you said
Yeah.
Venom 2 comes
Oh,
out.
yeah.
Good. All right, let me fucking and make it clear for you so that even a cop can understand.
I understood the first time. I'm good.
Yeah.
So he can figure out, and now make it as simple so a firefighter can understand.
Or a millennial.
So I am the toxinologist for Venom 1 and Venom 2.
Toxinologist.
And
Said it
Jason
right.
and
That
I
doesn't sound right. It doesn't sound
both
right.
of us started.
It's not sound like you're talking about
and look at me. Look at me. Look at me.
Eyes.
We run together Venom 2, one of the few in existence.
You guys
Venom
run?
response teams.
Oh
Yes,
yeah.
I fucking run, and I run.
Hey,
3 minutes. 3
hey, you
minutes
know-
for Patricio.
You know
3
what's funny
minutes.
as
Put a
shit?
donut in front of me or some of this whiskey.
Why is it got to be a donut?
Hey,
Why
by
is
the-
it got to be a donut?
let me ask you something, Patricio. As a we'll use the word civilian.
Okay.
Like if you are in a house with a cop and you wake up in the morning, what would you expect to have?
Donut.
A bullet of me because come in the house with a cop.
You know, but let's say you're
allowed to be
I'll
there.
answer the question properly. It would be a donut.
yes. Did you have a donut this morning?
I did
Rebecca?
No.
I'm thinking.
No
I
Wait,
wake up.
in my defense, which house did you sleep in? That house.
I wake up.
There was
this
donuts
morning.
in this
They're
house.
connected.
It's still counts.
Patricio.
No,
But
so-
who was the first one we saw when we came down the
When I was
stairs?
a
AU.
kid, I went to school in Chicago at a Catholic school, and sometime in third grade, we had a cop come in every Thursday to do the DARE program.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And
There.
the kids got to ask the DARE.
There.
Dare like that old school thing they don't teach anymore.
Drug abuse justification.
He still has a shirt.
Do you still have a Dare shirt? I swear
He
to
does.
God, if you wear that, I will give you $200.
So the thing was, at the very end of each class, we would get to ask the cop questions.
God
So my dumbass, I get to I ask the cop, like, why do you guys love donuts so much?
oh no, you
And
know.
the cop looked at me and he's like, well, it's the only place that's open at 2 a.m. So like he legit broke it down to me that like the only reason why cops love coffee and donuts is because the donut shops were the first thing open for the first shift.
That's true.
Rob, can you confirm or deny this?
I can't
I mean,
confirm.
it is
I've
the
never
Wawa.
worked day shift.
In New Jersey,
I start my
Wawa.
shift at 3 in the afternoon till 3 in the morning.
So you know, like I
What
wake
time
up.
do donut
I wake
shops
up
open?
this morning, and I'm
Are they
like,
open
you
when
know,
you
I got
get
one of
out?
these. Let me just.
Using the phrase
When I
like
get out, no.
donuts.
Yeah,
No,
Yeah,
because of
I don't make
the work shortage, Dunkin' Donuts closes at 6 p.m. now.
yeah.
It's ridiculous.
And they don't even make the donuts in the house.
Yeah, Rob was pissed
But
about
Krispy Kreme does.
Rob was
And
pissed
so does
about this
Donut
shit the other day.
Oh, I love donuts.
So I wake up
Big
this
Shaka
morning
donut.
and I'm like, I'm gonna get me a glaze. Walk
So-
out there, no glazed donuts.
Morning.
Right.
What's the place we're going to? Morning.
I don't know, babe. I don't think. I don't
There's
think
a famous place right here
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
Benita,
Oh.
Trackside Donuts, where the dog racetrack was.
oh man,
There's
that
also a-
Jason got me a good donut
There's
one time.
a breakfast
Good.
place right up here that's
Yeah.
There's donuts.
phenomenal.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
do want to put a
Down
little
south.
ad out because of where we're at.
Oh, Hollywood
Yeah.
Donut
Yeah.
Company.
You would
That
really
place,
get breakfast. Go to
that was
Sanibel
shit.
Cafe.
Oh,
Where?
Sanibel
Down south
Cafe.
Go to
Hollywood.
Sanibel Cafe over on the island.
We may
Yeah.
be doing that this
And
morning.
when you go in, I don't care who your waitress is. You tell them the doc sent you.
Oh shit!
Oh.
Yeah.
I have used that before.
Who's
I'm
your
gonna put it
favorite?
in
Who's your
here.
favorite doctor?
Who's my favorite? What?
Who's your favorite doctor?
Besides you.
Doctor?
Himself.
Besides you.
I saw this doctor in the mirror.
Hey, baby, I got.
Real-
I
real
got.
doctor or
I was making a doctor reference.
Millennial talk, doc. Millennial talk.
Can we
I know
please
Tarvis,
sanction him?
but actually I gotta-
Why doesn't he get sanctioned?
He's on his way.
I'm
He's
not
definitely
allowed
on
to
his
do
way.
2
that.
minutes.
He's on his way to get sanctioned.
We can
We
check.
can't
Hey,
sanction the guy with
Listen,
the control
you know,
tower.
because we kind of been at this for a long time, but
Not
I do
shame.
have to get the doc to tell
my
us,
bad.
talk a little bit about this thing. So
What the-
we are in the building of the College of Emergency Physicians, is where
We
you
are.
know the rescue company one runs out of, and which is a pretty cool building, you know, and we have a little museum in there, and I'm sitting there talking one time to one of the people that run the building and stuff, and like I go, there is one guy that no matter what item you pick in this thing, will be able to tell you the story behind it.
Oh yeah.
That's
Oh,
true.
the little museum down
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
The
absolutely.
history of Florida EMS is what he's talking about. Go
Yeah,
on.
yeah. So down there, there's if you ever watch the show Emergency, there is the box, that box to call back in. Right?
The
Right?
Rampart.
Yep. So when you when you look at that box right there in our world, and then you take right across from that box, almost like in a straight line, you look at the very top, and you have Eugene Nagel's helmet
Dr.
sitting there.
Nagel is one of the first medical directors, EMS physicians in Florida, out of Miami. Great guy, and his
He's
fire
actually
helmet's there.
hung out in our class a couple times.
Yeah.
No, he's a great guy.
He likes to use his old.
This is the best. I'm gonna tie this shit in real quick.
This is great.
So that doc comes in one day, and he's just hanging out during the class. Apparently, I think my office is his old office there. So
Really?
so the dude just shows up and sits in the office. And how do you tell the guy?
You tell this senile.
Yeah.
You don't.
You don't.
You're
And he's
like,
not
"Hey,
senile. He's legit. Like
nice to meet you,
he's
sir."
100% in his. He's in 90s, and the dude's he grabbed his helmet off the shelf, and he's outside. We're cutting the car like we always do in the class. We're cutting the car, and he's looking in there and shit like that. And I'm like, and then I'm talking to him, and I was like, Dr. Eugene, it's a pleasure to have you here. Like I've read about you in books.
Right.
And then I go, he goes, who's your medical director? And I go, what was Dr. Abel? Benjamin's your doctor? That's what he says. That's a true fucking story. Benjamin's your doctor.
Right.
Patricia, this dude laid himself down in front of Congress in the United States of America. Let's hear, Rob. And he let this guy named Randy Boaz intubate him in front of Congress. He
I don't know
goes,
if it was Congress or State Senate.
State Senate.
So it was something.
It was big.
This was a big deal.
And he sprayed himself with cocaine and lidocaine in the back of his throat, which that's what, and an anesthetic back then, Rob. So you don't have to arrest anybody. And he laid down and he let this fire lieutenant put a tube down into his trachea, just like we were doing today.
Intubate him in front of everybody right there.
Yeah, just to show him that he could teach somebody to do that medical procedure.
That's fucking insane.
That's the guy that created our shit, and that guy hung out at one of our classes. And he called him Benjamin by his first name.
I'm legit tearing up.
Like Benjamin by his first fucking name. And I go, and I call, and Josh is there. Like, he confirmed this fucking story. This is a true story. And Josh goes, like, I told you I had the right doctor. And I said, because we've talked about this shit before. Like, when I call Dr. Abel and I go, say, that dude is not gonna be our doctor.
Because he's not a doctor.
Well, and I go, Josh, I said, man, that dude's got no time for us, man. He goes, man, that dude talks to us every competition. So we meet Dr. Abel as we're doing competitions.
How did you two guys actually?
Oh, it's fucking the greatest story.
I moved down to Florida. I did med school, graduated. I actually took a year off. I was living in Africa, started an ambulance service. If you picture a dirt bike with a sidecar, I was an off-road ambulance. Which I got the idea of watching a MetLife commercial, talking to a friend while drinking beer after class. True story. I moved back, but I started residency in Florida. And then once I moved down to Florida, to Miami Beach, I was even as a student, I was actually active with state competitions and EMS and stuff. And so we met because I was always a judge for the state competitions at ClinCon and stuff.
So we would always get Dr. Abel because at the time when I'm competing, with I think it's my half brother. So like we competing with him, and everybody knows him. So the only judge that doesn't know him is Dr. Abel. So we would get his booth every time. Now we weren't that good then. Like we would get our asses kicked, even though I'm competing with two of the smartest human beings on the face of the earth, Felix Marquez and a guy named Rob Ansel. And Rob Ansel, you fucked up. You didn't put an inclusive dressing on that shit. In the building that I run this company from sits a trophy that I have to walk in and look at all the time. And for 20 fucking years, that's a true story. 20 years of me being a firefighter with the City of Orlando Fire Department, I try to win that motherfucker. I've been second, I've been third, and shit, I've been dead last a lot of times. And so I walk
This is like the Super Bowl of state
competitions.
State EMS competitions.
And really, like, if you're a person that competes in competitions and you live in fucking, Uganda, that trophy. The Eugene Nagel, the same motherfucker we just talked about, the trophy's named after. And like you try to win that trophy, and I got to look at that trophy every time I walk in that office, and my name isn't on that motherfucker.
How pissed off does that make?
I made Sharpie my name onto that thing.
I think you did finally win.
No.
Man, no, this is yes, you do think that we did finally win, and I'll tell you the story. This is where we meet. This is where we meet Dr. Abel. Now,
Well, they met me when I was judging.
Yeah.
But go
So-
on.
So we get
2011, by the way, is when I moved to Florida.
yeah. So I finally get Josh, and then his brother he wouldn't leave, so we put him on the team. So I have these two Granadas. We're on the team, and we make it, and we fucking go to the finals, and we kick that thing's ass.
What
And
year was
that-
that?
It's I'm not gonna say it, Doc, because this is controversial.
Sorry.
Hey,
Allegedly. Go on.
Allegedly, Dr. Abel goes, hey man, that's the best shit I ever seen. Congratulations. I think you just brought it back to Central Florida. And we did it. And like I go, motherfucker. Now, mind you, I got two guys from Pine Hills behind me that
all three of you.
all three of us are from Pine Hills. People's asses are about to get kicked in this fucking thing. And
In my defense, I just was telling they did a great job. I didn't know how
He
points
judges
laid,
us.
But go on.
he even doesn't remember this, but his patient died on everybody but us. And Josh still talks about it to this day. He goes,
Of course he does.
and you can tell because you ran out of shit to say to Josh because your patient was, done. He pointed him out. But that right there was the motivation. The 2 months later, me and Josh go to Seattle and we won the world championships. We beat doctors at this competition. And the biggest thing is that was a big motivator. So anyways, coming back from that trip, I remember that shit because I bought a big fish for my ex-wife. And at that, because we're in Seattle, you go to the place to throw fishes and shit.
No.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So
I
anyway.
just know you can tune a pin at.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but you can't tune a fish.
Yeah. Worn our way back. It is one of the top. That's the first time.
Oh my God.
He has
All the time.
every dad
All the
joke on
time.
the man. But this is the whole Abo story saga starts. Mind you, Josh goes, we should start a company and we should get that doctor to be our doc. And I go, which doctor are you talking about? The doc with the bow tie. He told us we were good.
Whoa. Get a bow tie.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he rocks the bow tie.
I wear bow ties 99.9% of.
Because bow ties are cool.
And he
right?
Bow ties is about and.
No, say bow ties are cool.
Bow
He
ties
ties
are
them.
cool.
There you go.
He
You're
ties
the
him.
guy.
He's the
Not
guy.
myself.
He's a fucking guy. And he goes, hey, what's doctor you talking about? The guy that said that we were good. I go, we're not that good. We just won one competition. We've lost 20 other ones, motherfucker. And that guy was just being nice to us. 5 years. Every year. Josh goes, hey, man, we should get that doc. We should start a company. And then we should get that doc. We should start a company. And I'm like, motherfucker said, hey, that guy. So I called him to hear him say no. And all he said was diggity. I'm in.
Legit, word for word.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he said.
I'm in. I said, I guess you're right. We got a doctor. And man, like the biggest thing to us, man, it's like when you look at somebody and it's a trendsetter. It's a trendsetter and it changes medicine all the time. And Doc knows we work on some shit that we can't really say on this thing, but like the reality is, man, the world is changing and you're a big part of it. You know what I'm saying? You're a big part of changing the thing. You take a venom program that exists, that's known around the world, and then in Middle Lake County, there's a hippo running the venom program. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Which I started while I had a phobia
about
of
snakes now.
snakes.
Yeah. By the way, yes.
It is.
Yes, he hates snakes.
Seriously?
Back
No.
then. When he says it.
I
Oh,
never
no, I
hated
hate
snakes.
Yeah.
I had a phobia,
I have them.
and I had a healthy respect for the shit that comes out of their fangs.
Oh, I'm
But-
right there with you.
Yeah.
I got over the phobia.
I haven't.
I'll deal with the venom, not the snake, until we started the team. Go on. Sorry.
Yep.
I had
You
one
were
almost
talking
fall
about
on
me?
But the best part is I'm talking to Amanda one day, and Amanda goes, Jason left a snake on the table. How the fuck do you leave a snake on the table?
It wasn't on a motherfucking
Question,
plane.
Jason.
You're right.
Listen, they don't go on the table either.
Hey,
What kind of snake was it?
I don't care. It doesn't matter. Was
Oh
it
no,
trouser
it was the
snake?
kitchen counter.
Wait,
yeah, it's
I
'cause
come
it's-
home and there's a fucking snake on the
Was
kitchen
it-
counter, and
was it a
he's
trouser snake?
Can you see it right? There's a motherfucking snake on the motherfucking
fucking
counter.
counter.
there's a motherfucking
I-
snake on the motherfucking
Look,
counter,
I mean,
and you went to the fire department.
Oh no, that's
It needed some love.
no.
They didn't get any.
I
No.
definitely think, you know,
No, that's
as
not good
No.
you know, Doc,
ever. Ever.
Man. I think you're gonna have to get 2 minutes in a second.
Nope.
You want some trouser snake?
What?
Yes.
Oh,
I love steaks. I worked I volunteered with the high school for 3 years during the summer, and I got to handle a lot of reptiles, especially snakes.
Yeah.
It was so much fun.
Was that quarter pointed?
Was
Or-
that?
Huh?
Were you eating?
Was that quarter pointed? Is that quarter pointed?
that's community service.
No, because for a long time I wanted to go.
Oh,
dig
hey.
into
There it is,
biology.
right
Hey.
And then I rewatched it and had to say, like, oh shit, no, I want to go planes.
You know, let me ask you something, Doc. And it's just like, are you living your dream though right now?
Every fucking day.
And that's some shit like in today that reminded us. And Jason said one thing that is the coolest thing. This is the coolest thing about you do this thing with Echo. It is like you have these people that are so hungry to do the job, and they're so into it, and it's still the greatest job in the whole entire world. And I see people a lot of times in my job, they like hate it, like they don't want to be there anymore, and they
We
forget
see it all the time.
on your worst fucking day, you're up in the air getting something to do that not everybody gets to do.
Yeah.
Imagine being a guy from my neighborhood that like fucking would never ride on a helicopter, unless they're fucking patient.
Right.
And then you're a fucking dude looking out of a window. At the end of the day, you got a bullshit call and you don't really have to do a whole bunch of shit. You're sightseeing. And people pay hundreds of dollars to fly in that thing.
Absolutely.
And that's just, it is amazing. And then imagine being a guy from my neighborhood, and then you have a guy that the guy that invented the profession you're in knows that guy's first name. That is fucking the coolest shit I've ever lived in my whole entire life. You know what I'm saying? And like, hey man, like there's nothing else I could say about that shit. You know what I'm saying? Jason, you got anything else?
I want to go back to today, and all of the things that the class that was there today, they were very willing to receive the training. This is the first time I've been to Echo. First time I've kind of taught this kind of stuff with you guys, so I didn't know really what to expect. I was expecting, basically, I was expecting a bunch of cocky people.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna tell you, any different.
Mhm.
I was expecting a bunch of cocky people that know everything, and that wasn't the case. And it was nice to basically have people that we could have a regular conversation with and training with back and forth. And hell, I learned a couple things today. We talked about that, at the end of the class, and sitting there watching people get excited about learning those little tricks, little things that they didn't know at all. We did the tomahawk in one of my
when he table
stations.
danced.
Yeah, when I was table dancing. And and the same thing you were talking about, that where you saw that light came on. Same thing. There was an issue where they were trying to get it, the tomahawk, put it in, and then like, oh, there it is.
Yeah.
The same thing.
Mhm.
Same thing.
Did a student teach you anything today?
Yeah, absolutely.
You learned something in the class today.
I did learn something today.
Imagine that.
So one of the things that I learned, and I'm going to pass it on to anybody I ever see, because it was really a good idea, is using the BVM bag under the head to help position the head up a little bit.
Huh.
It's there. If it's under the head, you're going to know exactly where it is. If you're actively intubating, there's no really reason to.
Where do you put the bag?
Right, you throw it on the floor, and then you're looking for it.
I'm going to challenge that.
Okay.
At the moment.
Oh, hey.
Okay.
You got to learn that doctor on the
Yep.
thing.
Here we go.
Sir, go ahead.
Here we go.
Learning moment. So, okay. So you're using the BVM to position the head for when you intubate.
basically, you're ready. You're
he's
bagging.
he's gonna get you, and I know where he's
Hey,
going from.
that's fine.
I would like to say I'm a
I might
learned
just
man
be
myself.
learning here. I might just be learning here.
Go ahead. Go ahead,
I
sir.
know.
Go ahead. Proceed. He's
So,
a hippo, sir, and he's from Lake County.
Bagging. I would almost probably use the second one for it, but whatever. So you're bagging the patient, and then you want to get the head in a neutral position, and then they had the bag under the head, which helped lift the head up, because that was truthfully, and maybe this is just a mannequin type of thing.
I think it's just a mannequin that works.
Or a mannequin.
What?
Or a womannequin.
But a lot of the students, when they're trying to intubate, they're literally shaking, struggling, trying to position it correctly so that they could do it. So what they ended up doing was putting that BVM underneath the head, put it in more of a neutral position, and they were able to.
I think what the doctor's getting at.
So here's what I'm getting.
Go ahead.
I always preach, which I like that, and we're always learning. I'm always learning.
Yeah.
Phil Collins wrote the music for the modern Tarzan for Disney.
Yes, sir.
And I love that fucking soundtrack.
Yeah.
And one of the songs is "In learning you will teach, and teaching you will learn." So every time I teach, I learn shit.
Yes, sir.
Reinforces it, etc.
Yep.
So,
but
best way to line up the airway, not only for
There you go, baby.
ventilation and visualization, but passing the tube, everything
Preach.
is ear hole, sternal notch, right? External auditory meatus to the sternal notch.
Andy's favorite word.
That should only. Why do people only do that for intubation?
Oh man,
This is what I was fucking petty about.
Rob,
So,
you should
I love
probably
So,
go pat
I've
somebody
heard this
down.
earlier.
The lining up of the airway for optimization should not only be for intubation. What about prepping for intubation? What about just airway management is not just passing plastic.
Yes,
Airway
sir.
management is either avoiding intubation
Yes, sir. Just rise and fall.
or prepping for it. So
Yes, sir.
you put a nasal airway in, OPA, you put them on oxygen.
Yep.
They should also already be positioned. So I hate it when I see other physicians, medics, be like, okay, once I push the paralytics and I'm intubating, we are going to move them into this position. I'll lift it up, I'll ramp, I'll extend. So I like the idea of having another object to position it because it's all about positioning.
Right.
But why wait for intubating? Because if we're pre-ventilating, now if you said to me, Doc, we're talking about, we've got them on high flow, we're doing apneic oxygenation, and that's when I'll use the BVM, fine, that's different. But I didn't hear that.
No.
Yeah.
But if you need the bag for preparing for intubation, then they should already be positioned.
Because practice makes what? Oh, Andy, go ahead and say
What
it.
does practice
What does
make?
practice make?
Rob, move. Andy's talking.
Practice makes permanent.
Oh,
yeah.
man. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And?
Perfect practice makes perfect.
Perfect.
So that's why I always have you guys practice. Right. Andy even, it was funny. I was like, he was testing me today. I was like, dude, right?
He does that to
But
me all the
has he
time.
gotten that one of his habits today? I'm bringing this up right now in front of everybody.
Go right
Oh, no.
Because I love you.
I
He's
can't.
so handsome.
Right? And I respect you. And
He
the
is so
dimples
perfect.
Just, I'm sorry, I got lost in your eyes.
I can't look at him directly in the face.
I got
Let's
lost
call it
too.
out.
But what I talk about often
It's the
also
cop.
Probably
is airway
Rob's.
management. So I like that. So it's a great technique to consider.
You can have
But don't forget the other part because we should be pre-positioned.
And you know,
So
Well, maybe a better way to put it
and
is
Sarah
they learned
knows,
about
right?
how important
Sarah's
the
still in it.
positioning was.
So
We can't see.
I said maybe a better way to put it was some of the students got a chance to see how important it is to position the patient properly.
right.
yes.
So
Which
the
is very
ramp,
true, right?
all of that stuff, even prior
They
to
had
the
trouble.
admission.
So yeah,
There are a lot of
that
peas in that show.
positioning should be-
And you know, like
So wait,
the doc, I
let's
gotta.
talk about because I love him so much.
I love
Let's
this.
talk about what pissed me off today.
Oh! I can't watch this. This hurts me. It hurts me.
It was for love, loser. All seven, we hate that. So
Sandlot.
So exactly.
Oh, he got one.
So I was talking about earlier how a lot of people like rely, and I was even talking about this with another doc who trains residents. We're like, oh, they only let them do video.
Yeah.
Video's gonna fucking fail.
Yes,
You
sir.
need other alternatives.
At some point.
Right?
Yeah.
And then also,
Well, it killed the radio service.
It totally did.
that
That is so fucked up.
Totally
I
redeem
have
yourself.
a funny picture of a VHS tape with a mugshot. It's like video finally charged for murder of
As a millennial translator, so shit used to come in these
The
black
first-
cases.
the first music video.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I was talking about video laryngoscopy is great as an alternative. Everything's a tool. I don't like back in the day we called the combi tube an emergency backup. The King Airway was an emergency backup. No. Henry Wang, who I did airway research with, we call all these things, they should be alternative airways. Every airway should be treated as a difficult airway.
Hey, dog, you remember what was the grandpa of the combi tube?
Oh, I actually taught that today.
Obturator? What?
Yes,
I actually taught that,
Yeah.
and nobody knew. I think the one guy knew. Nobody else knew what it was.
So I will give you.
I can't believe
I will
somebody
give.
put a fucking jet ventilator on
Yeah,
it.
I will give you. I will give somebody $40 to give me the contraindications of that.
Oh. I mean, are they different than a lot of the other ones?
I don't know. You tell me, Andy.
I got this.
I can't give the $40 because I know these.
I'll text me.
My phone said. Sorry,
So you
my
watch.
phone is set because they didn't align the airway correctly.
Hey, like that right there. If you remember, you take the Orlando test back then. You had to progress through the airways. So the exam was like you would put in EOA in esophageal obstructive device, and you had to tell the contraindications for it, which were ingestion of caustic substances, under 16 years of age, under 5 feet, over 6 feet.
Okay.
Right. Esophageal disease.
Yep.
Okay. Anybody else? Gag reflex.
Right.
And the last one. Anybody?
Head trauma.
Negative.
Or oral trauma, or
Texas. I can guess the shit too.
so,
what's oral trauma?
Well,
I'll show you later.
Yeah.
And the EOA is the only one that had this prior insertion. Prior insertion. So if you had received an EOA before, number one, you're an idiot. I don't know why you got 2 of those. But you should not receive another one. In which the combi tube doesn't have one, which is the only difference between those.
That's okay. That's
yeah. That's a little
Let's
history.
let me talk about beauty here, Andy. So video laryngoscopy is a great tool, but can fail. And the camera is on the end of the fucking blade. It is so easy to get a good view, but the point of lifting and positioning and displacing the tissue is not just to get a good view. And that's what everybody fucking teaches. But it's also to pass the tube. That's why we don't pull the blade out until after we pass the tube.
Right.
So, I even said it multiple times, and we've been through this.
We've been through it, Andy.
Makes permanent because this is how he was trained by his medical directors and everything in his class. And, it's been a bit, and maybe he was just testing me today.
We don't use video laryngoscopy.
There you go. Okay,
Yeah.
it's been a bit.
Yeah.
So that's actually what he said. In case he wasn't near the mic, he does not use video laryngoscopy. They don't have it.
Nope.
Okay, so
Correct.
that is good. So
Correct, sir.
it was good because what I kept saying to him multiple times today is, and I saw it. I could see it on the screen. He's lifting. He gets a great view.
Can I ask a question? Did the introduction of video reduce? No, did that tool reduce complications or malpractice with that?
Yes and no.
Okay.
So because not everywhere has video, and video doesn't always work.
Okay.
It's definitely an improved documentation.
So it is improved. So video isn't just for legal. So right now, right across the water right here, Sanibel, I have the graph. That's what they've had, and it's a great device. It's very easy to use, but I can't record it. I can't take a picture. That's my problem with it. So I can't even verify on charts, except for waveform capnography, which I find is so sexy, capnography. But I can't give them tips because I wasn't on scene. So I can give them tips after and say, hey, Dakota, that was really great. I loved how you finessed and you went over to the left and you lifted and you held it. I can't give that positive or negative feedback. But so what he did today was he had a great view. But as soon as he had a great view, I see it going down and he's like, I can't pass the fucking tube. And I'm like, you're not lifting anymore. I could see he's not lifting anymore because it had dropped down. So video laryngoscopy is very easy to get a view, but you have to remember the positives and negatives out of what you're using, the positive tools. So bleeding, it might fog up. So how do you deal with that? Use the decanted catheter, use different things, stuff like that. But you still have to position the patient. You still have to lift and displace the tissue. And you still do that while you're passing it until you've passed it and gotten it through. So it's learning all those little nuances and little things. And a lot of times, so I've had amazing greats. Pittsburgh, Stat Medevac, who's a big sponsor, I think, for
Yeah,
the
you
ECHO
got a
conference,
lot of people here.
who I used to fight with, like, and some of my greatest mentors. Some of the reasons why I went to medical school to become an EMS physician are the medical directors of Stat Medevac. Just putting that out there.
Yeah.
And some of the medics for Stat Medevac. But one of the other ways that I learned so much was not only because I had requirements for if you didn't have enough intubations per quarter, you had to go to the OR.
Yeah.
The opportunity.
Still do.
But I videotaped myself at different angles. Not just this view, but I videotaped here. So today, I learned that a lot of people today that are not used to intubating were lifting straight up. They were lifting, but they lifted straight up. And what they did basically was they pulled the air and they actually closed the mouth with the blade. So like, no, where the ceiling meets the water, like over that way. And I think you got some great pictures when I was
did.
pointing.
Yep, I have video of it too.
And I used to attach a laser pointer to the laryngoscope for the cats to go nuts, just like you're doing. But so I went on the lift towards a laser pointer.
Oh, shit.
But I was able to see from the side. They couldn't see that they were doing that here, but I saw from the side. So that's why I like video. I just credentialed one of my new EMTs because out in Sanibel Captiva, they might have to be without an ambulance for 45 minutes.
Oh, wow.
And, we're not talking about 10-minute engine medics, right?
Yes, sir.
At you, Lake County. Lake County.
Allegedly.
Well, we might be now, but
I'm kidding. So, but they might be for 45 minutes. But where was I even going with that?
You credentialed EMT.
When he was getting ready to test and everything, I got him to videotape himself because he's like, I went through the list and I got everything. I'm like, yeah, but just videotape it from a different angle. Just put the camera over there and do it here. He picked up on all these things that he didn't realize that he missed or things that he could do better.
Game film, man.
Different in different ways.
Visual
and views because you have different angles. One of the best things, I get feedback all the time. Even my chairman was like, hey, he was like really antsy. He's like, I'm afraid to tell you this, but I'm like, no, thank you for telling me that.
Yes,
I didn't know that view. The fire department doesn't know that there's smoke unless you call them.
Yes, sir.
I don't know that there's somewhere that I can improve unless you tell me. So same thing. Yeah. I'm going to seek it out. So I'm going to look for those other views. I'm going to videotape it so I can learn it. That's why I give that feedback to you. And what happened as soon as I was like, lift, fucking motherfucker, lift. As soon as you lifted, you had an even better view. Because you had a great view and then it kind of went away and you were trying to do it that half view. No, don't half-ass anything. Even a half marathon.
You never short dick it. And it's
always give it your whole ass.
So same thing.
Yes, sir.
Same with Sarah today and some of the other students. And she said that the beautiful thing after that class, that's where I got a video of her going like, okay, I'm keep my eye on it. Doc said keep the eye on it, and I'm gonna do epiglottiscopy. Right? I don't do laryngoscopy. I do epiglottiscopy. Find the epiglottis and then go in. That was the other thing that you did. Which if that's the way you would do it. You just braid in and then pull back until you see the
No,
molecular.
I don't. I walk it in.
Do that today.
I use that.
You did it today.
I even talked to them about using it as a tongue depressor.
Hi,
Slowly walk
this
it
is
in.
Dr. Abo calling you out.
So let me say that.
But I do laryngoscopy, right? So I go in, I find the epiglottis. Now I know where to go, and just supposed to get that full view. And you could see as soon as she got it that she's like, oh, there's the epiglottis. She puts the blade in the molecular. She lifted, and it popped. Whoa! This pearly white gates, and she passed that tube in.
So Dakota's on right now.
Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah, I'm here.
Allegedly.
Get out. I got a lot of questions when Dakota shows up. So people
man.
still want to know about your awkward lap dance.
We were,
I have never seen a man look this awkward ever, and I've seen some I've allegedly seen some people at some strip clubs.
To be fair, this was like in the middle of a
To be
hallway.
fair.
To be fair, this was in the middle of a hallway.
I think your mustache stuck into the microphone. Hold on, what's it saying?
Yeah, we were like in the middle of a hallway, and I had like a whole audience watching me. I felt like a stripper myself.
I was watching intently. I was. So was.
I was also in the hallway, so it was.
is that when you were chanting Visa?
Listen, man,
There was like 2 or 3 of them.
you
There were
get.
like 10 of us in the hallway.
Yeah.
I put Dakota on because today we're doing some shit on Saturday, and people said something about currents and stuff, and I was like, I got a waterhead that looks at currents all the time. It's okay. I mean, he does nothing else well. But the water, I said, yeah, we'll be okay.
Yeah, I learned the most from my dad, Andy.
Yeah,
If father son do it, we're gonna be in the water.
he has got luscious chest
That's
hair.
gonna be amazing.
Yeah,
Luscious chest
he's
hair.
beautiful.
VO chest hair.
Both
Rob,
of them?
yes, not this
Yeah.
one. No, he
They're
wish
both
he had
chest
chest hair.
hairs.
You have chest hair?
I actually just shaved it.
You serious?
I wanted to look professional.
But you didn't shave that mustache.
I will never shave this.
From
It
one
isn't just
mustache to
hair.
another.
It
Rob-
has its own personality.
Rob, is there anything you got to say that would possibly change the world at all whatsoever?
Wow.
That's deep. No,
Because you're a cop. I was just referring to because you're a cop.
I'm just the cop. Yeah, that's it. Cop Rob.
I'm going to tell you this, and I told Rob this, and I mean this shit with a deep intention. Like, a lot of times,
Supporting your wife as a nurse.
yeah, a lot of times,
We know she's making the money.
and Andy
As of today. Yes.
Andy knows this. Andy knows this feeling more than anybody. Like, because yeah. So, Andy and Justin and those guys, they'll travel with us to teach and stuff like that. And a lot of times there's 8, 6, 7 hours of me fucking talking all the time, and then these guys jump in and they'll run stations and stuff, and it kind of lets me be able to work the rest of the week because I gotta be, I lose my fucking voice after a certain point in time.
What?
And
He always finds it.
but I did say this shit to Rob. I did say shit to Rob today. I said Rob may not be able to run a station, but the shit that Rob does makes it so easy that I'll actually run a station just so I could bring Rob with me.
He did
It was
say
that
that.
important, and that shit was
I'm
a
not
good
just
job.
saying this to get out of tickets. I appreciate you.
Hey man, I do mean.
I was able. I called for stuff and he had it. I was like, I felt like it was a movie, like scalpel, beer.
It's called MASH. Yeah, I'm good.
Before you even asked.
Just like I said earlier, like when he decides to go to school, come to the dark
I'm getting there.
side.
I'm picking up all the little things. Like
Yeah,
proper
but-
placement on chest tube. Carlos says
If you're
you
gonna
put it
pick up
in,
all the
you
little
clamp it.
things, you go to my fucking house and clean.
Hey
You
man,
mean to start with the
I
dog?
mean it. I mean it with all my heart and soul, bro. You did a great job today, and it made life easy. And it's the only time that I've ever done one of these, and we've done a lot of motherfucking cadaver labs,
Fucking lie.
that I did not throw away shit that did not need to be thrown away because it didn't get cross-contaminated. And that's amazing, and that's fucking awesome.
Yep.
Trish did stack something at storage that fell off
Do you know
today.
what Rob?
I'm just gonna point that out.
Do you remember what Rob reminds me
Just
of?
point that out.
Did you ever watch the Howard Stern?
You mean Will?
The Howard Stern podcast?
Amazon?
Do you remember Beetlejuice from
Yeah.
Howard Stern? Rob's like our Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just bring on here to make fun of
that's
us.
so
Hey, unite all of us.
Hey,
I thought he was gonna say, "Hey, what you know what Rob reminds me of? Will."
No,
Yeah, funny.
oh man, I
I'm
know.
guessing that's
I
for
know.
Howard.
Here's
Let's
another.
say that for another episode.
And you know, and before we close, I wanted to ask this question: who here has had their own TED Talk before? For the next show, I would like to officially say for the next show, Trish is gonna start with 2 minutes. That's that shit. You can't raise your hand with a doctor's raising his hand. He's a learned man. And you will respect him as such. I love you though.
Did you ever smoke weed with John Hopkins?
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Hey, here's the other thing, and this will be for the next show that we have. Doctor, who is the only person to save a man from a subway train track accident?
Oh, yes.
I'm not the only one here.
Oh yeah,
I'm not the only one.
yeah.
But
I say the first
You're the
person.
only one.
There he is.
You're the only one with such amazing hair, though.
Greatest
Shut your
story
mouth.
ever, man.
His features any day.
Greatest story ever. You can't even
that
do
name
this.
goes on vacation. Lord.
Hey, man. Hey, Patricio,
No, I got a question. I got a question. Real quick.
give me that.
Because I went to Munich last weekend with your girlfriend, and what just happened?
Oh, why is
Were you stuck up Schitt's Creek without a paddle, or did you have the paddle?
It's
There we go.
There you go.
yeah?
No, I was we went canoeing last weekend, but what we did, the girlfriend and I.
With your girlfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah, which
And
we'll talk about
prior to the canoeing, we stopped off at a gas station. And the gas station had Subway. Subway's not sandwiches, okay? And there were some people looking at me like, what is Subway? But something happened in the Subway that changed my life. They did something that I had never ever seen at a Subway. And I'm about to pull up the video right now because I had to make a TikTok out of it, okay? And how often do you guys eat Subway?
From time to time.
From time to time. Okay, it's not like an everyday thing. You don't want to eat that trash. But this threw me the fuck off, all right? And I'm going to show it to Jason because I want to get his reaction, okay?
Oh, yeah, I saw that one.
I saw that, and I wanted to know what rock you've been hiding under.
I've never seen this before. And I'm going to show my comments. Maybe you've seen it before. All right, here.
The cover?
The cover. I never knew that the sneeze guard was the cover for the food.
Huh?
Right. What rock has he been living under his entire
The
life?
sneeze guard covers all the food, so you don't have to
It-
tack
it
everything
pulls
out and put it
down.
into the fridge.
When you go to Subway, the
Yes.
glass
It pulls down.
closes.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I never knew
He
that.
didn't know that.
Allegedly, I may have been a sandwich artist at one point. And I like to say that if we said anything today that may have slightly,
How do you learn that?
yes, that may have slightly offended you, well, you should have turned this shit off a long time ago.
That's right.
Hey,
Yeah.
see y'all motherfuckers next time.
Peace.